Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you're joining us from around the world. Selamat datang from Malaysia as we welcome our friends, Mr. Ahmed Sufiani Jahari, or Mr. Sufi as I'll call him tonight, the president from Malaysia Touch, and also the general manager, Mr. Amir Shafafuddin. Mr. Amir, welcome. Selamat datang to the gentleman, and thank you for joining us from Malaysia.
Selamat datang, Mr. Adams.
So, thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're going to touch on the sport of touch in Malaysia, and of course the World Cup. Everybody that attended the Youth World Cup and the World Cup, Senior World Cup in 2019, many memories to talk about. But first of all, Mr. Sufi,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved in the sport of touch football.
Okay. First of all, selamat datang and very good evening to Mr. Adams, member of FIT Board's FIT Commission Touch Football Fraternity around the world. First of all, thank you for giving us this opportunity to be in the set of six, and I would like to convey greeting from Malaysia Touch Fraternity in Peninsular Malaysia, Sabah, and also Sarawak. My name is Haji Ahmad Sufiani bin Johari. I am the founder and the interim president of the Malaysia Touch Association. And tonight with me is Mr. Amir Afifuddin, which is the general manager of MTA. Amir will elaborate more about himself after this, and I pass back to you, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Sufi. So, why not bring Mr. Amir on board as well and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved in the sport?
Hi, Adam. Good to see you. I'm really excited and honored to be here today. And how did I get started? I'm back to 2011. Started as a player, and then we play with a really new team. I remember that the day when FIT team coming to Putrajaya teach us how to play about touch and stuff like that, which is a really good experience. And I can't believe that's really a stepping stone for me. And then 10 years after that, here I am. And then playing in the 2015 World Cup, being the first captain for Malaysia is really good experience, and I feel so honored. And then now it's time to share some Malaysian story, and then see what we've been up to.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. We'll find out what you've been up to, and of course we'll start off the formal part of our discussion. Can either of you gentlemen let me know how the community in Malaysia has been affected by COVID, and of course then the impact that it's had on the touch football fraternity over there as well?
Okay, let me start. For the entire 2020, it has been a tough and challenging year for the whole world, and Malaysia certainly is no exception. Malaysia has been under constant movement restriction due to surge of COVID cases that never really settled down. As of today, a total of COVID cases in Malaysia is more than 300,000, with cases ranging every day around 2,000 to 3,000 cases per day. This dramatic increase that began last year has caused much strain to our healthcare system to the brink of collapse. Because of this, the movement control order was imposed by the government to restrict contact, and this certainly affected the economy and livelihood of our country. But tough time called for tough measure. Although very restrictive, the MCO was something that is much needed at this time to control the spread of pandemic and to prevent the further loss of life. On education-wise, the school, universities, and all education centers were closed most of the time. Classes mainly online, and certainly the school have been allowed to reopen gradually since start from last week. And the majority of COVID cases now found in Klang Valley, in the central region, particularly in Selangor, Kuala Lumpur and outside Klang Valley, particularly in Penang and Johor, and in Borneo continent is in Sabah State. As Touch Committee, majority of us were who active member stays in Klang Valley, in Selangor, KL, and Putrajaya. Touch Committee is been very much affected by this MCO, and all form of contact sport is prohibited for now. Understandably, the social aspect of touch is also not possible, but we will wait for the government to release something for us, and for that we are limited to individual training only to keep us to keep up with the fitness, as no form of game is allowed at this stage, and certainly no tournament at this stage. Mr. Colin.
Wow. So, yeah, big impact on the community and also the touch community.
Yeah.
Amir, yourself, you're a player, you're a coach, and an administrator. How have you found the halt to the sport, and what have you done to try and keep the people involved and together?
Yeah, no doubt this COVID really give impact. I think to everybody around the world. It's rather I said a small or big impact. Same case with us in Malaysia, but at this period, I think if we look at the bright side, to be honest, we are so lucky when at this period we have the technology with us. I can say that at this point, our technology has been matured compared to like early 90s or 2000, right? The internet is really stable now. It's quite fast. If you remember, early 2000 is maybe dial-up internet connection. So it's allowed us to work from home, to still reach people through internet, something like that. And then it's also things that being taken advantage by Touch community over here. One thing that what we done during this pandemic is because we can't go to the field and then as usual. So this is a time where we take a step back and then gather, because if you look in one side, this is the time where we put everything together. Like for example, put as we, the Malaysia Touch Association MTA, is building up or restructure everything, right? So this is the time where we restructure everything, put all the guideline, the documentation in place, and then relook or revisit our development structure, so that when we are able to back to the field or back to normal, so we can implement it quickly. And then yes, this this technology give slightly what I can say a good thing for us in Malaysia.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's some exciting times ahead there. You've mentioned the restructure a couple of times. We'll get to that, but I want to go back in time a little bit. I want to remember the outstanding experience that we all had at the Youth World Cup, and then of course the World Cup in 2019. What impact did that have on the emerging game of touch in Malaysia? What did it mean to you as a participant to have the World Cup on your home soil, Amir?
Oh God, talking about World Cup still gives me a goosebump, and then I'll be nervous to talk about it. Well, World Cup. So first, Malaysia participated in World Cup in 2015 in Perth Harbour. We sent one men's open team. It's a really good experience, and then we learned a lot throughout the event. And then when we came back, that's I think the turning point for touch community or touch as a whole in Malaysia. And then it's really exciting when we are the next nation to host World Cup. And then we are really look forward for it. And then when the times come, when people see the event, I mean that the local over here see the event, and then what's actually touch have to offer, and then how exactly this sports is being played at the highest level possible, right? So it's a eye opener and a game changer, as I can say at this moment, because to be honest, we have still have a mentality or perspective where this touch is played by female. So that's when World Cup coming. So when they see like for example a well established team like Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Singapore playing, right? So they see that, oh, this is not just a female sport, all right? So because we see the intensity of the game, how the game is played, the structure of the game, the delivery of the events, really something that fit to our culture and in Malaysia, which is I'm really grateful, and that the impact after that is really amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, awesome, and it's definitely something I think you've touched on there, that the game suits the Malaysian culture. It suits the Malaysian athleticism, that the skills that you have in the sports that are big in your country really fit into the mold of touch football. So yeah, I think if you can get that transition happening, you guys are on your way. So Mr. Sufiani, I just want to go to you. You were one of the busiest men I think I've ever seen at an event. The go-to man. There were so many times when, if we needed anything from the organizing perspective, it was get Mr. Sufi on the phone or get Mr. Sufi on the radio, and things got done. What did you take from the experience of hosting? Your country hosted the Touch Football World Cup.
And this definitely this World Cup have bring a lot of positive thing to Malaysia. And then what we can say here, I must say that Touch World Cup has certainly brought a significant impact to the touch in Malaysia, especially to the growth of on our side on the players. We are very happy for the World Cup to come to Malaysia, and I can say the during the World Cup, the cooperation, this is tremendous. That's how we work together during that time.
Yeah.
And as the World Cup left us 2 years ago, I would like to thank the Federation of International Touch and everyone involved in making this event a bright celebration of sports in Malaysia. Definitely the memory of the event stays beyond time. For everyone here, and same goes to you, Mr. Collins. Whenever I saw you, the voice behind the microphone, this is actually I learned a lot from it. And Malaysia have been the host for the 9th Touch World Cup. I bring back from the past. We've been the host venue for the 9th Touch World Cup from 29 April to 4th of May at Taman Iklim Putrajaya. It involved 2,400 athletes, 117 teams. I think this is the largest team for Malaysia ever host in the international event, and also 26 nations, 13 field in use, and 11 playing division. It's magnificent to see everybody on the field for the 6 days of competition, and I'm very proud to say there is more than 8,000 spectators or supporters come from local and international flight.
Yeah.
And I want to share with you what made this World Cup event is so special. Okay, as a host venue, we did receive the support from His Excellency Malaysia Prime Minister. Same goes the support from the Minister of Youth and Sports and other 8 ministries which made the coordination of administration, safety, security, traffic and health matter be handled more easier and effectively. The key of the success are government support and teamwork. And the great support from Prime Minister Office, Minister of Youth and Sports Office, Minister of Federal Territories Office. I need to say this. The Commissioner of Sports Office, Perbadanan Putrajaya Sports Council, PAS Group, Taman Ikusun Putrajaya, Royal Malaysian Police, who give us tremendous support in everything on the security and safety, Ministry of Health, the UPNM, University of Defence, IPD Putrajaya, Hospital Putrajaya, and information of the heart of this managing the World Cup, which is the 9 Touch World Cup Secretariat, has made this program more structured and well organized and easy to go. That is my opinion, Mr. Collins.
Yeah, it was a magnificent event, and like you said, the support and just the teamwork to see it come together like that under the conditions that it was. It's left a very memorable impression on everybody that was there. So I just want to also touch on there was a lot of media coverage there, and as you said, a lot of local spectators came in, and then the excellent media coverage that we had, and the the press media, the television media. Has that coverage helped grow the sport? Have you gained momentum because of that?
Yes. That is when we certainly the support from the media is something that bring the growth of the momentum in Malaysia. I'm happy to say the Touch World Cup in Malaysia have attracted 12 news agency coverage in dual language, English and Malay. 12. It's magnificent. From the major TV broadcasting channel, government to the private, which I can say with National TV, the RTM, Astro Broadcasting, TV3, TV9, these 4 TV have been supporting us for the past 6 months of the development of the World Cup. And the major print and digital media from first of all, I have to thank Sinar Harian newspaper with the Kumpulan Media Current Craft. They have given 16 stories throughout the World Cup. And then same goes to the News Straits Times, The Star, Utusan Malaysia have gained a full page of coverage, a documentary of the World Cup during the World Cup day, and it's magnificent. And same goes to Cosmo and Sukan Daily. In terms of tourists, this is I want to talk about the facts from the World Cup. In terms of tourists, 40 news on Touch World Cup were reported by the local print and digital media. 12 TV slot broadcasted, and total of 52 Touch World Cup news has been broadcasted and delivered to 32 million people over the period of 5 months from January to May in 2019. The return of investment from this, I have calculated the return of investment was estimated at 733,000 ringgit, or equivalent to 231,000 Aussie dollars. The momentum here, that I think is tremendous, Colin, Adam.
That's outstanding. And Amir, as a participant, the World Cup on your home soil, but that promotion, have you seen a return as far as the players go? Did they get some pride from seeing themselves exposed that way? And then, of course, did other people join because of that exposure?
Okay, so the momentum is carried from 2018 Youth World Cup, and then it's getting bigger during 2019, and then yes, as what Mrs. Sven already covered everything. How's the media help us? Because for me personally, there's a few areas that media help us in terms of keep moving forward and also keep the momentum going. Number one is to promote that we are here, and then this the Malaysian team is here. That's number one. Number two is to tell everybody that the sport is have a significant value in terms of like not just like promote a healthy lifestyle. Number two is also help to boost in terms of economical perspective. Like for example, during that period of time, all the hotel in Putrajaya is fully booked, and then I think you still remember at your IOI shopping mall, right? The mall is
Yeah.
full with all touch players or contingent, and also the self laundry also fully occupied after after the day, right? Because they need to do the laundry for the jersey and stuff. But in terms of the development, so the impact that media give is I remember that I have a couple of interview during the event itself. So some of it is come from a university, which is really interesting. They came because they heard one of the friend playing in the team, so they come in and then wanted to see, and then they wanted to see, and also like oh, this is a really interesting sport. We don't have it in our university, like for example, and then.
Yeah.
Then the follow up after that is really huge. That's number one. Number two is the next one is with the media support. It's open how you call it open the opportunity for us to work with a corporate entity, to be honest. Yes,
Yeah.
during the World Cup maybe the involvement with corporate is small, but the impact after that, because the event is like hosted like successfully, right? And then they've seen that what's the value they have, and then how they can be a part of it or contribute something to it. So it leads to a positive thing, which is I'm glad to see that the corporate start to come in after World Cup, which is help us at this point for development. I mean that for move forward. I mean that post World Cup.
Yeah, perfect. And you mentioned the Youth World Cup there. One of our friends, Donna Ryan, has made a comment there that the 2018 Youth World Cup was supreme, so welcoming, a huge success towards the development of the sport. So that's a wrap from somebody that was there, Amir, and also for Mr. Sufi. That's the impact that event had on the touch community worldwide. So it's great to hear from you, Donna. And anybody else that might want to make a comment or ask a question, please feel free to shoot us a question in the comments there. We can see them coming in live, and we can relay those to the gentleman as we talk about the World Cup and, of course, touch moving forward in Malaysia. So, okay, so that was the World Cup, and, it came and went, and the game changed there, and you've identified that you needed to develop and move forward. So there's been a bit of a restructure that you've both mentioned. What insight can you give us there? What are some of the high-level goals for Malaysian Touch Association over the next, say, 10 years?
Okay, let me answer for that. Now we are in the preparation of the MTA, Malaysia Touch Association 10 years plan. The 10 years plan is a vision that we created from the idea suggested from one of my good friend, Dr. Ramlan Aziz, who is the ex-Director General of a National Sports Council in the Ministry of Youth and Sports. That he said, in order to gain support from the ministry or from the government, particularly in the financial support, a clear structure and strong long-term plan is the answer. It was from the initiative that MTA 10 years plan was born. Among our major goals are Malaysia to be a fully developed touch nation in 2031. We need something concrete, like a development in phases to achieve that. And then I take a term of 10 years. And secondly, our goal are Malaysia to be top 3 world ranking in any categories contested, either men open, women open, mixed open, women 27, men 30s, men 40s, or men 50s during our participation in the next World Cup. And to bring home our first Touch World Cup medals in 10 years time, and our aim is to achieve it during the 12th edition World Cup in 2031. To achieve the goals that we have put in, it have to go through 4 phases, which is for the first phase from 2021 to 2023 is a building phase that make a lot of preparation and structuring the nation and helping the state association and to develop the state and to promote the sports to be at the on the building stage. And the second phase is the growth. The growth will take from 2024 to 2027, and it will also take 3 years in the growth, and then they expand phases will be 2 years from 2028, and the last phase is self-sustained, self-sufficient, and on from 2030 to 2031. And then for that, the one who make this 10 years plan possible and access to all is Mr. Amir. I would like to give this opportunity for Amir to explain more on this. Amir?
Yes. Okay. So the whole idea of this 10 years plan is let me go back a little bit. After 2015 World Cup, yes, it's really successful. We participate in that event, and then after we came back, we can see that the levels of touch is getting higher or getting better compared to previously. But the thing is, since there is no other plans, and then the team or the pool of players and club is mostly based in KL, in Kuala Lumpur. So we haven't touched in northern or southern region of Malaysia. So after 2019, and as I said, and just now, which is the impact of 2019 is really amazing. And then with the help of media and then government support, is really give us the opportunity to move forward and then achieve something better. So with that momentum carried from the World Cup, after that we got uh, 9 or 10 states start initiating the request, so how we can get touch started in our state. So obviously when people request for it, which is really good, and then it's just that you need to have a plan, and then what you need as a national body, what you can do and what you need to prepare in order to assist them, to get them on board and assist them, to make sure that they have the resource, they have the knowledge, they have the everything in order to move forward. So that's how the 10 years plans coming up, coming into the picture. So in the beginning, I mentioned that this COVID also we take the opportunity to restructure everything, prepare all the guidelines and stuff. So that's one of it, which is we have the session with all the states, and then we have and we present to them, okay, this is what we want to achieve, this is our 10 years plan, and then how we want to achieve it. And then yes, of course, because of COVID, the momentum's a little bit disrupted, but then with the technology that we have right now, we can have virtual meetings, conference like that. So we have the ability to reach them, to catch up with them, even though some of the request being requested is like, for example, hey, Amir or MTA, we are really new, we are really excited to be a part of this, but we don't know how to start, we don't have the resource, we don't have the knowledge, and then can you help us and then guide us? And then yes, of course, I'm really excited to do that. It's just that during that time there is no other proper documentation or resource, or where you want to refer all the resources, what you need to do, and then how to get started. So we are in the final stage of phase 2 of doing that. So I do believe that when everything is in place, and then hopefully the COVID, come down a little bit, and then we already can go back to the field. And then of course, everybody, I can guarantee, it's not just in Malaysia. I think it's worldwide. It's really excited and also look forward to back to field, and then throw some sweat, be with friends, throw some balls and whatever it is. So yeah, that's also things or that we in Malaysia really look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be great, as you said, when we can get back out there and you get amongst your mates and just start to grow that game and put some of those plans into place. On the back of the success of the World Cup, is bidding for major championships going to be part of the growth, the development of the sport in Malaysia? Will you be looking to host an Asian Cup sometime in the next 10 years?
The short answer, yes. We are really excited to host any major championship. Like previously, besides World Cup, we host I think 2 times Asian Club Championship, if I'm not mistaken, in Putrajaya, and then that's how everything is get started. We just because one thing is the impact of the post event. So that's really something that we needed in Malaysia, because like for us, I give you an example, right? During the World Cup, people just see things in YouTube, in Facebook, how touch is played, and then they have their perception on it. But when they see it by themselves, and then what we can achieve, how the players, how the sports be played, and then it change their mindset, which is that's one of the things that we need to spark the development or the growth. And then as a young players, like for example, I remember in 2015 in Coff Harbour, the national team has been assigned to a local school or have some training or session, so they get really excited. And as a young player, when you are able to have a session, even take photos with your idol, you put like some expectation. I want to be like him or something like that, right? So it's gonna be a factor to drive them, and indirectly it will also help to boost the development of the sport or touch in Malaysia. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So, Mr. Sufi, as I said earlier, you're involved at every level of organising that event, in the lead up and then also at the event. What advice would you give to countries that are considering bidding for, to host the World Cup?
Okay. First of all, I would like to advise to the country who is going to host the World Cup, which is the government involvement, the collaboration with the government is very important. And secondly, people normally looks very lightly on the media side. Without media, you won't go that far. Without media, you won't get much support and the sponsors. And on top of that, I also would like to announce here, this is not the things new, because I have put on paper to the government after the annual general meeting of during the World Cup I attended. I saw there's a structure, just a structure. Then we know we have hosted the Youth World Cup, and then we have hosted the venue host for the World Cup. But certainly we want to go extra miles and to prepare our teams. And then where I have structured, I think I followed the structure of Federation International Touch, which you have the media, you have the event team, you have the referee commission, you have the children commission, which is I look is so beautiful. And then for Malaysia, we use the same structure. And then certainly part of my strategy is to bid for the second Asian Cup, which I think it will be on 2024. I want to bring again people to Malaysia. Then we have done successfully bidding the 9 Touch World Cup in Putrajaya, and we think we can do it again in 2024 because the process is still the similar. I want to share something with everyone tonight. For these for what we did in Malaysia for any major international event, the key of bidding is to get the written approval from the Minister of Youth and Sports, in which this is stated in our Sports Development Act, Section 33, which or in any organizing the way to organize the international event, we need to have written approval from the minister. Once this is obtained, licensing from Commissioner of Sport is required. We go to the Commissioner of Sports, and next we get Tourism Ministry involved as one of any of the world event in the country. Government through Ministry of Tourism will have to be included in the process. The campaign for international bidding will then be highlighted in media and supported by the government and covered through official mainstream media. This is important to give the confidence to the world federation that we are ready. And on top of that, with the government support, this is what I want to share. Actually, the Malaysia government have allocated 10 million ringgit in the preparation of the venue, which is 4 million ringgit we have been used to upgrade the main field in Taman Ikusuran Putrajaya. They have regrow the grass, and then when we have found that the field only can allocate 10 international field, then there are we built another field outside which cost 6 million ringgit. Yeah, so for this, during the preparation of the World Cup, Malaysia government have put in 10 million ringgit just for the field. And then the campaign for the bidding, and of course when we bid, we need also to be prepared the national team. And in my vision, that the national team representing Malaysia is a well-prepared, strong team, which will consisting a man, woman, and mixed team for the Asia Cup. And then we are preparing for the World Cup. We will go for the man, woman, mixed, woman 27, men 30s, men 40s, men 50s, so that we can have a sparring partner. Same like the representative from our neighbors nation, Singapore, that they have sent one of the largest participation team during the World Cup. And for the record, this is go outside from touch. For the record, Malaysia have hosted 3 times World Cup actually, from 1975 to 2019. Malaysia have hosted the World Cup twice in hockey, which Datuk Dr. Ramlan involved because he be my mentor during the preparation of this World Cup, because he have hosted 2 times the World Cup. In the World Cup in 75, the 3rd Hockey World Cup, and the World Cup in 2002 in Kuala Lumpur. And with the success of the 9th Touch World Cup in Malaysia, in Putrajaya, Taman Ikusuran Putrajaya, it can be stated in the full of history that in every 17 years, from 1975 to 2019, Malaysia has emerged as a World Cup host.
Yeah, awesome. It was, as I said, it was a very memorable event, and the impact of that cooperation of the government and all of those other groups that you talked about was a major part of that success. And on behalf of the Touch fraternity, I thank you. I thank people like Amir and the people of Malaysia who just welcomed all of the participants in. And it was like I said, it was an event that tested a lot of the participants as far as the conditions go. but one of the lasting memories was how beautiful the people were and how enveloping and how involved everybody was in the tournament. So, on behalf of a participant and a visitor to the beautiful country of Malaysia, I thank you and all of your people for the way you hosted that event.
We appreciate that, sir.
So, Amir, I might come back to you here as a player and a participant, and again, as I said, as one of the key drivers now of the new direction that the Malaysian Touch Association is taking. You talked about touch being, a perfect match for the athleticism of the Malaysian people. Where do you feel it's going to fit into the landscape? And it's mostly dominated over there, by football and badminton and hockey, as Mr. Sufiani said. How do you think you're going to attract those players into the sport of touch football?
Okay. So every sport have their unique strength and also advantages, And then for me, for touch is number one is the community itself. For me, touch is like really treat everybody like a family. So one of the things that I wanted to share is we are so lucky to have Singapore. I think I saw one in the chat just now. So we are so lucky that Singapore is right, next to us, right? And then they already been in the sports being while, and then they develop their country really well, and then they always welcome us to be there. And then I still remember the days when I took a bus Friday night and then be there Saturday, ref some games, play some games, gain some experience. Thankful to Linda, Scott, and Ngo, and all the other touch community in Singapore. So I learned a lot. So from there, that's how it's helped us to develop. So this is where I'm talking about how beautiful the touch community is. And then when I travel to Pattaya, if I'm not mistaken, and I met Meto. So I took my level 2 assessment and also referee presenter course over there. He just like we already know each other for a long time. He just like give me all the helps that he can, and then try to understand the scenario and then the challenges that we face in Malaysia. So that's a few to name that how I can point out or stress out how the touch community is like really support you regardless what's your background or whatever it is. They didn't like treat you differently, or they just open to you, and then whatever we can help you, we will help you. That's number one. Number two is the pathway itself. So as you get involved in touch, you can be a player, you can be a referee, you can be a coach, and like myself, I have three of those. So so you can be a referee and also can be a player at the same tournament, like for example, right? And then in the same evening you make up a bucks, and at the same time you have a chance to have fun on the field. So that's one of, for me, it's a really unique selling point, or the advantages that touch have. That's number two. Number three is since it is a minimal contact sport, the chance to get injured, or injury is really minimum, and then you can continue playing like what Mrs. Fiani already pointed out just now, right? You have open, we have men's 30, men's 35, women 27. So it just show to you that you can be in the sport regardless socially or competitively. So we have something to offer to you. So you can be a social player, like for example, just to have a healthy lifestyle, get social with your team and something like that. And also we have the platform where you can achieve your dream, or tick all the boxes of your dream, so that represent your country. Like for example, is something that maybe it's a dreams that somebody been dream of for their entire life. Maybe they don't have a chance to play in the opens category. Maybe they have the chance to represent in the 30s category, for example, to represent. Nothing is really for me, nothing is really ultimately I proud of, rather than represent or carry my national flag or country name in the international level. So that's one of the things that I think I'm not that taking a point where we are the best compared to the other sport, as I already pointed out, which if each individual, each sport have their unique strength and also advantages, but we do believe that that touch is really fit in our community, because as our culture itself, we are very friendly. We welcome each other. We don't afraid like to we will welcome you in open arms. So that's one things that I think we fit perfectly in Malaysian culture. Yeah.
That is something that I took away from both events, the 2018 Youth and also the 19 World Cup, was just that. And I mentioned it to Mr. Sufiani before, the beautiful people of Malaysia. And as you were talking there, we were rolling some photos, and to see the mixed cultures, the mixed religions of Malaysia on the field representing their country must have been a massively proud moment for every one of those.
Yes, that's true. Like that we have multiracial, right? And then we have the majority here is Malay, Indian, and also Chinese, and we also have the expatriate community over here. And then, as you can see from the pictures, everybody just be together in the same flag, represent your country, play with your heart, and then regardless whatever it is, you put everything you have on the plate, so that you carry the name. And at the same time, maybe which is I witnessed this by myself, whereas in the team there is no like Malay in one group, Chinese in one group, and expatriates in one
Yeah.
group, because we are team sport, we need to gel and also bond together. And the sport is really one of the platform which fit, as I say, into the culture, and that is really uh, give a positive impact. And because they know each other well, and then maybe like for example you heard something about that, but when you experience by yourself, it's totally not true. And then you can be the front liner of it. You can front it, oh, it is not true. I know, because why? I play with in my
Yeah.
team have some this, and then it's not true, totally not true. So which
Yeah.
is something beautiful to have, to be honest.
And you can affect the change going forward and get that message out there and hopefully that will bring other people in.
Yeah, that's true, because like for example, nobody is judging you or like talk something bad or look down to one another, because if you can see the female Muslim player, right, they're wearing
Mm-hmm.
their long tie, they're wearing hijab, and then the players or the community accepted it. All right, and that it shows that as a Muslim, and as our country as a Muslim is our main major or main religions over here. This sport doesn't stop you to be involved, and then you can play for your country. You can play at the international level. The
Yeah.
high, you can achieve your dreams, and the sport doesn't stop you, or like oh, if you want to play for your country, you can't wear hijab, for example, which is not applied to this sport, which is really
Uh,
good.
it's a very inclusive sport, and as you said, it is a sport that really envelops everybody. There's a position. I mean, I played, and I'm not the smallest human being on the planet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And my sister played at 3 World Cups, represented Australia. My family's been
Mm.
involved from the day dot, and the sport allows you to play with your family. You can play the mixed game, and I just see those photos and the smiles on your players' faces. It's something that we see around the world, and hopefully,
Yeah.
when the borders reopen and the
Yeah.
events start to occur again, we can have people coming back to Malaysia, or we have the Malaysian teams coming to other countries to play in our events. You mentioned earlier that you went to Perth and played.
Yeah.
Malaysian teams went to Perth, and hopefully that sort of thing still happens.
Yeah, that's true. I'm really look forward for it, because when you travel, yeah, sometimes like for me, sometimes I travel with the team, sometimes I just travel by myself with my good friend Janal. So we travel, we ref some game, we play some games over there, and then I think you already know that we have Asian Barbarian teams. we participate in couples of tournament regionally here in Singapore,
Yeah.
in Hong Kong, in China. So the team mix from people around the region. Okay, and then what's the most important beautiful about it is while we're playing, yes, we have fun, we play some games, good games on the field, but outside of it, we're sharing our knowledge and then our challenges. Maybe like for example, what we facing is looks familiar, and then how you solve that, and then after that event, when you go back to your country, you spread the knowledge to your community. That's what I've been done all this while. And then a part of that is a part of that is the sport itself encourage you, like for example, hey, please come to our country, like for example, right, to Singapore for example, and then we love to have you here, let's play some good touch, and then after that we can give you a couple of tips and sharing or exchange knowledge and stuff like that, which is really really good to have. And then as I said, it's gonna fit perfectly in the Malaysia culture.
Yeah, great stuff. We might welcome Mr. Sufiani back in. We're at the end of the questions, but I think there's something very important that we need to get out here. And there's been lots of chatter, the comments coming in, and we need to say, Salamat Hari Jari to Mr. Amir. Happy birthday, my friend.
Oh, thank you. It's really really coincidence, and then I didn't expect this, to be honest. And then look at the date today. Is a very very nice beautiful date, 4321.
4321. Hey, how about that?
Okay. For that, it's a big day to Amir. And now, everybody, you please a birthday song to Amir. Happy birthday to
To
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you.
you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday,
to
Amir.
Amir. Happy birthday to
Hip hip.
you.
Hey.
I will. I
Just a
never
quick.
dream of. I never dream about this, and then I think this is really special because my birthday for this year, my birthday this year is celebrated by people across the globe or around the globe. It's really significant for me, to be honest. Thank you.
No, well, you deserve it, mate. You've what you've done for our sport over there. There you go, Mr. Stifiano, blowing out the candles for you.
Mr. Adam, if I can have the microphone for a while.
You certainly can.
Okay, and then I just want to give some updates of what happening in Malaysia. So now we are underway of getting 13 states and 3 federal territories to be registered as STA. As for today, 11 from out of 16 states have been responded positively, have put their application to the Commission of Sports, and this initiative have been certainly created a further interest from the respective state, particularly outside Selangor. We are in Selangor, Kuala Lumpur, and Putrajaya. Outside of these states to build their team players and referees and later on coaches. This is good for the federation. We will have more members, more participation, and after this we will look into the school because now we are under the COVID vaccines process, and I think this should be okay for everybody. And then in 2 months' time, I think the COVID will be slowing down. We have started our COVID vaccine last week. Thank you to our government of Malaysia for giving all the COVID vaccine free to everybody, includes the foreigners and expats. Everyone in Malaysia will get the everything is free for free vaccines from the government. And secondly, for the closing, we would like to thank Mr. Eric Ecker, the FIP President, Mr. William Bilker, the Secretary General, Mr. Pititop, who organized this, the director, sport development director, and Mr. Gary Reynolds, event director Aaron Jones, Mr. Hamish McLean, the commission, the directors, and all involved during the World Cup. And a big thank you to the mayor of Putrajaya City, Putrajaya Corporation, the mayor of Kuala Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur City Hall, Taman Equestrian Putrajaya, Royal Malaysian Police, Aman, KL Police, Selangor Police, IPD Putrajaya, IPD Sepang, Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya Department of Health, Hospital Putrajaya, Hospital Serdang, Hospital Sungai Buloh, Hospital Columbia Asia, Faculty of Medicine, UC of National Defence Malaysia, UPNM, and the Secretariat, and all the medical team, local and international media. Then on top of that, I would like to say thank you to the international, can we congratulate Mr. Gary Reynolds, FIT event director and FIT event teams that have successfully delivered 515 matches. And the touchdown is tremendous in Malaysia ground, is 6,489 touchdowns scored over 6 days of the competition. And thank you to you, Mr. Adam, the great voice of the 9-Touch World Cup. We hope you will be there again next time. And thank you to 247 TV and Birdie, who produced 140 hours video content for the Federation of International Touch during the World Cup. Live stream 192 games via YouTube and BBC Sport and iPlayer. Thank you to Bernama and all medias in Malaysia, including Media Commandos who are very close to me, Kumpulan Media Karangcraft, and all the newspaper and the new and our new media friends come from Rugby.my. Thank you so much, Rugby.my. And lastly, to all MTA Interim Committee, State Touch Association Interim Committee, thank you so much. We will do our best to be a governing body that exercise good governance. That is very important. We will exercise good governance in Malaysia, and we will move together and shaping our future for betterment. For that, thank you so much, FIT. Thank you so much, everyone involved, and happy birthday to Amir. Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday, and thank you, Mr. Sufiani. That was great praise indeed, and yeah, it was my pleasure to be involved, as I'm sure the world over, everybody that came there took away some very special memories. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for participating in our set of 6 tonight. I hope people all around the world will watch this into the future as well, and just learn a little bit more about the game in Malaysia and what we can do to help you guys as well. I know that, as Amir said, the touch community is very supportive, and we'll look to grow the game. So I'm sure that any help that you guys need, if you just reach out through all of the channels that are available, you'll have plenty of support. And I, for one, look forward to the day that I can revisit Malaysia and be involved in that growth and development as well. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you here tonight, and good luck into the future as Malaysia Touch Association moves forward. Thank you, gentlemen. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's another set of 6 wrapped up. Our friends from Malaysia, you can see, very happy to be involved, and lots of growth over there for the sport in Malaysia, and the touch fraternity around the world will get behind it, I'm sure. We look forward to another set of 6. We're coming to you next week. Here in Australia, we are preparing for the National Touch League. We went into COVID shutdown pretty much at the end of halfway through the 2020 National Touch League. We are getting it underway again next week here in Coffs Harbour, and we look forward to bringing you some set of 6, hopefully from the venue, and also in the lead up for International Women's Day next Monday night. We'll be talking to some of the leading players, coaches, referees, and administrators who are women involved in the sport over here in Australia on International Women's Day. So look forward to that. Keep an eye out on the socials for some more introductions in relation to that chat with our leading women on Monday night. So thanks again to our friends from Malaysia, and I'll bid you a good night.